Testing. All right, Abby. So we are at the last video on this series of videos for Flipgrid. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about evaluation and the type of feedback that you can give to the students. And so before we do that, I'm just going to again just go like over everything we kind of have done so far. So we created our account, we logged into Flipgrid, and then we created a group. And then I showed you how to you can hide the group so where it's not active, or you can also share the group on like on Schoology, right? So this is the group itself, and if you share the group and the students join and go into the group, if you did it that way, what they can see is then they can see like all the topics. So if you have like 20 topics, they'll see them all listed, and usually that's why I recommend that teachers share the topics instead of the group itself, because if you share the topics, then you can send students to specific locations. Okay, so then so the next video we talked about in creating topics. So within the group we create topics, and again with the topic, you create the topic, we have it scheduled, but you can have it to where it's just active indefinitely, and then again you can click the share button, and then you can share it with just the URL, or you can embed it in Schoology, or you can print a QR code. Okay, so then now the kids, so the next thing we did is I did it right. So then I kind of simulated a student. So here's the topic, the URL. I looked at my directions, and then I recorded a response, right? So then let me refresh it. So then if you wanted the students to get feedback, okay, because that's probably one of the more important things that a lot of the times the teachers, there it is, it finally showed up. So here's one. So as the students start responding, and you, since this one we had it set to moderate, as soon as you start approving them and activating the responses, they'll start populating in here, okay? And then the students can go into it, and then they could see they can comment to the videos if you wanted them to have like a dialogue or a discussion back and forth with each other, and then they could even record another response if you wanted them to do that. But let's say I was a student, I just click on it. All right, so this, I can see the video, and then here's where they can comment. So in here they can type a comment, right? This is a typed comment. Or if you gave them permission to record, they can click on the record button and then videotape a comment back to the student. They'll just hit the little send, right? So then that's the way the students, and then it just kind of, see right here, this topic is moderated and your comment will appear once it has been approved. Okay, so since we're moderating comments and videos, it's kind of waiting for your approval. Okay, so now I'm going to go into it like as as a teacher. So in here, what I can do is, it's going to default to discussions. So here's all our groups, right? So from here, I can go into topics, like straight into topics, and see the latest activity. So this is the latest activity. Or I can click up here on activity, and then same thing, I can see the responses by students. So I can see, oh, this student right here responded to the introductions topic. So then you could go into it and then see that way. But the way I'm going to go into it is I'm going to go back to discussions, and then it's in groups. That's the default. So I'm going to click in the group. Okay, so then within the Rubric example group 2, this is the topic that we just created. So I'm going to go into the topic. I'm going to click into it. So now we're in the topic, introductions, right? And then so from here I can share the topic. I can, if I click on the actions, I could record a response. I could submit it to Discovery, which was the group, if I wanted to share it with other people. I can hide the topic. I can move it to another class or another group. I can duplicate it. I can download any captions. I can export the data if I wanted to do that. Now, what I wanted to do specifically on this video was the feedback, right? Okay, so in this topic, the introductions topic, the students are going to start to post their responses, right? So they're going to list down. And so I'm ready to give them feedback. So let's say I was going to give him, this student right here, feedback. So I click on him. All right, so this is my response. So I watch his response. Okay, so then down here, it goes into details, right? That's where it defaults. Here I can add a comment myself, like, good work. And this comment is going to be public, so everybody's going to see it. Okay, so then if I wanted to make it private, I just drop this down, and then you can give them a private. I really like your answer. Okay, so I can do that. Okay, so that's one type of feedback. I can also turn on my camera, and then what I really like about this is I can do effects. So like maybe the student was to show me something on the screen. So if I click on effects, and then I could do I can record. Oh, maybe it's in options. Oh yeah, I go to options, and then I can record my screen. So then here I can actually record and talk them through certain things, right? So this is one type of feedback I can do, which I think it's pretty powerful because visually you could explain, I think, in my eyes, a little bit better than unless you wanted to write a lot of text. But usually if it's a lot of text, the students will just kind of, they'll just look through it really fast, where a video, they'll probably pay a little bit more attention to it. Okay, so that's one type of feedback you can do. And then again, just make sure it's private if you want it to be private. But if you wanted to celebrate them, then yeah, you can make it public, and then everybody will see it in that topic. Okay, so that's one way of giving them feedback. Oh, and then also the comments. So since this is a private one, right? It was you as a teacher to the student, and it's private, it's active, this comment, so the student will be able to read it. This was you as a teacher to the student, public, so that one's active too because you're the teacher and you wrote it. Now this one that came from the student, right, when I was in here and I responded and it's telling me the comment will appear once it's approved. So in here I can see that it's hidden, and let's say I read it. Okay, yeah, this is a pretty good comment, as a teacher I think, yeah, this is good. So then I can just click that. I make it active, so then now the student and everybody else in the class can read that comment. If I click on the three dots, I can edit the comment. So maybe there was some typographical error and I wanted to correct it for the student. I could do that in here, or I can delete it. If it was really inappropriate, I can just delete the comment altogether. But since I activated it here in Schoology, I just have to refresh, and then when I refresh it, the comment will show up. And actually the other comment as a teacher that I posted will show up as well. Okay, so that's those type of feedback. Okay, so here's that. I can see right here there's 3 comments, and then if I click on it, all right, here's the first comment, the private one. So since it was for me, I can see it because it's my comment, but nobody else in the class would be able to see it. This one is me to the student as a teacher, and then this is the one as a student to the student. Okay, so now it shows up in the timeline because I approved it as a teacher. Okay, so that's one type of feedback. The other type of feedback is right in here. Okay, so if I keep scrolling down, that's it, right? I don't see any more. If I click on feedback, here again I can record feedback. So this is different from the comments. Right here, these are just comments. In feedback, I can actually turn this on and then again give them, use the options, and then if I wanted to record my screen or if I wanted to upload a clip, I can do that kind of stuff, or I can just hit the record button and then record my feedback to the student. Okay, so that's here. I can record feedback. Now this one is the one that I really wanted to show you. So you can use a grading rubric. So let's say you were doing a like a task analysis, and you wanted to grade them on the task analysis. Like maybe I actually had this showed up. Like let's say you were wanting to model, you're modeling a a behavior like maybe brushing teeth. Let's see, I think there's a brushing teeth one in here. Yeah, so brushing teeth. So like let's say, ooh, that's a lot of steps. Okay, let's look for something with less steps, like this one right here, washing hands. This one, there's still a lot of steps. Okay, so these are 10 steps, right? So stand in front of the sink. So like these are the 10 things that you wanted the student to do in their video, right? And you wanted them to record themselves doing that, or maybe the parent. And again, this is just an example. So you can, let's say this is step 1, stand in front of the sink. So I'm just gonna copy that. I'm gonna come back over here, the grading rubric. And again, I'm gonna use this like as a task analysis. So I'm gonna go to edit. That's just the title of the topic. So I'm gonna leave that there. Essentials, attachments, video responses, the feedback right here. This is what I'm gonna create a custom feedback. So with custom feedback, here's like it defaults to these right here, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add criteria. So step 1 was stand in front of the sink. So right here you can add, this is a description of step 1, right? And then, you know, whatever, you can add your description of that. And since it's a task analysis, 0 that they didn't do it, and then 1 that they did. Okay, so 0, 1. So I'm going to create it. So now we have stand in front of the sink. And so now I'm going to go to the next one, which is turn on water tap, or yeah, turn on the water, copy. And I'm going to add another criteria. So this one is going to be the turn on the water tap, and then I can add a description, 0, again, 0 to 1. Oh, I guess I got to add a description. Okay, so, you know, I would write it out more if I want it to be more clear. Okay, so now we have the 2 steps. And then I'm just going to do one more just for time's sake. Actually, I'm going to go down here. This is the last one. Try the hands. Okay, so then add a criteria. Try hands, and then, you know, the description of what it looks like. Again, 0 if they didn't do it, and then 1 if they did it. Okay, I'm going to create. Okay, so now here are the 3. So I would probably even do like step 1 or step 1, step 2, like make it a little bit more clear. But these are the 3 criteria that we're going to want in our custom feedback. Okay, so now I'm going to add, and since these are checked off, it's adding just these 3. So I'm going to add criteria. Okay, criteria title, let's see, I don't know, task analysis, washing hands. So the minimum score is 0, and then since we only had 3 and each one was worth 3 points, I'm going to put 0 to 3. I'm going to create it. Okay, and then that is it. So then now I'm going to update the topic. Okay, so now coming back over here, we're ready to give the feedback, right? So I'm going to click back on the response. All right, so this is I watched the student's video. I'm going to go into the feedback. So then here are my tasks, the criterias. So did he try the hands? Since it's 0 to 1, and he did it because I saw him do it in the video. 1 point. Did he stand in front of the sink? Yeah, 1 point. Did he, oh, this was, probably shouldn't have done that. Actually, this is the overall one, so it's 3 points. Okay, so this one, he did that, yep. So 3 points altogether. Okay, so again, I would probably like reorder them so it just looks cleaner and all that stuff, right? Step 1, step 2, step 3, all that. Okay, so then now you can say, good job modeling this task. Okay, and then email the feedback. So I can email the feedback so it's been sent. I can even copy the feedback link if I wanted to do that, right? I don't know why I'd want to do that, but anyway, so then now that's another way to give feedback to the student. So then I'm going to check my email just to see if it showed up. And I don't see it. Oh, here it is right here. You have new Flipgrid feedback. So then, and then again, these are all the other ones. So like your video is now on Flipgrid. Somebody that replied to me, because I had it set to where they'll get an email every single time something happens. So if I click on the feedback, they can see, oh yeah, I got 3 out of 3 on washing hands. Yeah, 1 out of 1, 1 out of 1. You know, this is, and then there's my comments that I had left to them. And then here's the selfie image. I can view the topic. I can view my Flipgrid if they wanted to go back and see what it is that this relates to. Okay, so then let me go back over here. Okay, so that's the feedback. Edit. If I go into edit here, I can change the student's name, their display name, right? Whatever they wrote. So I can go in there and edit what they wrote, and then close captions. If they added, you know, if I wanted to correct some way that the closed captioning was off, I could do that. I can even download. All right, so that's what I really wanted to show you was this part right here, the feedback. And then if you wanted to do something like this, you know, it's there. And since this rubric is part of that topic, all of the students would then have these 4 different criterions for that grading rubric if you wanted to use something like that. All right, okay, so that was the last video, Abby, on feedback. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Flipgrid is a really great, I think what the advantage of Flipgrid is that you can create like a community, right? And then the students who maybe struggle typing out the response, they can use the videos and then they can record themselves. And so now it's more visual and auditory. Now, if you have students that are, I don't know, like maybe a blind student or somebody that has a visual impairment, this, because it is a Microsoft product. So this is my, it does have some built-in accessibility, like this little icon right here, immersive reader, but they'd have to know how to navigate, or they'd have to be able to navigate to those little icons, so that might kind of hold them back a little bit. So you know, the activity, because it's very visual, it might not be the best for you know, students who are low vision or blind. So you might, you know, might have to do some other kind of responding, or maybe just have more somebody there to guide them through the activity a little bit better, just because of that, because it is very visual. And so the strength is probably, for other students, it's not so much of a strength. But all right, okay, so I hope you like these videos, and again, if you need any other help, let me know, and I'm happy to show you some more stuff. Talk to you later.